Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? Maximus is here. Nah, Nova's gonna be here in a second. She's just getting her camera together. I don't know. She having some kind of technical difficulties. I was actually on time today, so I just want the record to be shown. Good evening, Mr. Rucker. Good evening, sir. Welcome from the YouTube world. Nice to see you there. Welcome, welcome. You know, hey, what's up, Joy? What's up? What's up? All right, we got the YouTube peoples early today. Look at that. Look at that. While you're being early, don't be afraid to hit the like button. It only bites you if I let it. You know what I'm saying? So let's get that together. All that good stuff. The fuck is wrong with this thing? Yo, Facebook be wilding out. But anyway, so today, we, meaning me and Nova, once she gets her life together, are going to be discussing about colorism in the LS. It's a very interesting topic. This is actually her baby. She came up with this, not me. And, you know, it's very interesting because, you know, I feel like a lot of times people are fetishized. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it comes to color. And I feel like, you know, there's a lot of divides. There's a lot of humans are tribal by nature. So it's very easy to see. Yo, Tahi, what up? It's very easy to see exactly why something like this would actually be a topic of legit discussion. Because there's a lot of divisiveness. Like you see, there's a lot of differences when it comes to like, hey Joy, what's up? There's a lot of differences when it comes to one side of the LS versus the other. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, Nova's coming eventually. She's on. It's just her camera's being bootleg. Up there she is.
Hi guys.
You know what I'm saying?
I heard you talking crap about me.
Yeah, of course. I know you can hear me. That's the point. The point is for you to motherfucking hear me. I ain't whisper the shit where you couldn't hear me. I could have muted the shit and then you couldn't hear me, but I ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just wanted to be quiet. You know, that's what it is. But how you doing? How was your weekend?
My weekend. Oh, so I was in Philly for the weekend, so it was beautiful. I had an amazing time hanging out with the sexy, slutty sirens that Doc Izzy has curated. What
sexy,
else?
Slutty sirens?
Well, you know, because we're part of the slutty summer party, and so our nickname are sirens, like we're sirens. Hey, Tidy. Priscilla. So Priscilla knows what I'm talking about. So it was beautiful. I had a phenomenal time.
Priscilla, what up? Yo, let me say something. I'm really glad that you had that fun because, you know, it's good. So you went to Lisa's joint, right?
So yeah, the meet and greet was just as hyped as the actual event. Like it was so dope. It was such a dope time, and I met so many people. I met so many of our viewers, like people who are like, "Hey Nova," and I'm like, "Hi," and I didn't know who they were, but they knew who I was. So that was really cool. Shout out to Izzy for navigating that for me. And I met some people who were connecting to our safety committee. So that was really cool, exchanging emails and things like that. So it was fun. And I've also indoctrinated another family member into the lifestyle community. So that was cool as well.
Well, that's beautiful. I'm glad that you got those things off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about is the networking and making things happen and all of that stuff. You know, you gotta have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have that going on, then I don't understand. Like, what are you really doing out here? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's beautiful. You know, hit the like button, hit the share button. Subscribe to the show if you haven't already. We starting this from early because these numbers got to move, man. We doing this shit every week now. It's very consistent. You know what I'm saying? So we need these likes, we need these shares, all of that stuff. Either that or I'm gonna start putting the cash app up and y'all gonna have to drop in the bucket. Don't play
Okay,
with me.
Cash App.
I'll put that shit up. Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the free shit, but y'all don't give me the free shit. I'm gonna ask for the money shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
So today is Black History Month, Max.
Oh, I didn't even get to say my weekend part though.
Oh,
you know
snap. Yeah. Tell me about your weekend, because we weren't even together. We were like missing each other.
I mean, listen, man. I'm gonna say this. Lola's party was definitely a good scene. It was a great time. Had a lot of fun. Shout out to Lola Entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday, Lola.
You know, she was running around. I barely even got to really like fuck with her the way I wanted to. I wanted to like have some shots with her and shit, but she was all over the place.
I'm sure.
So that's the only reason why I bought that big ass bottle. I'm looking at that shit now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and you know, but I mean, it was still a good time. I actually spent most of the night dancing for once because I didn't come there in the play mood. I wasn't really in the play mood, so I came there on some. I just want to dance. I just want to have a good time. Blah 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 blah, and all that good stuff. So that's what I did. You know, and I mean, my whole weekend was pretty much lit.
Yeah,
you missed it. You know what I'm saying? We was looking for all that body yaddy in the party, and he wasn't there.
Hey,
you know?
Trudy.
You know, but you know, it's all good. You got to get to the bag first. You know, play come later. So I ain't mad at that.
That's a whole fact.
But I mean, it was definitely a good time. Keep hitting them likes. Keep hitting them shares. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. You know what I'm saying?
Max, I've never seen you dance, so I'm going to need you to run that back next time we're at an event together.
I wasn't dancing hard, though, because I was high as shit.
That's not what Joy said.
I was high out my mind. Nah, I still wasn't really dancing hard. Like, I'm telling you I wasn't. I know how I dance when I really go to a party and my brain is working right. Oh shit, Ty, you in the hospital? Hopefully you get well soon, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah, we gotta check in on him again.
You know what I'm saying? Take it easy, rest, you know, one day at a time with all that shit. You know what I mean? So
health is so important.
Health is wealth. Without health, you have nothing.
That's so true.
You know? But like I said, I mean, that party was fucking good. I had fun. You know what I'm saying? I had a sexy little thing with me. You know what I'm saying? She had me dancing because she's a dancer. I didn't know she was a dancer like that. The first time we went out to a party. So I didn't know she's a dancer like that. And she had me up there dancing my ass off. I was trying to, you know, keep up with her. You know what I'm saying? But my footwork wasn't footwork in the way I wanted it to because I was too damn high. You know? Couldn't get it together. Oh my God. But you know, it's all good, you know. So anyway, we gonna jump into this right now. We got everybody outside. Shout out to the people. You know what I'm saying? We got the X Squad. That's what we gonna call the people that watch this show from now on.
The X Squad? I thought we were calling them socialites.
I ain't calling no goddamn socialites. Call them the X Squad. Socialites.
Okay. I had some thoughts in my head. All right, it's PG. It's PG.
Nah, that's why I call them the X Squad, because there's a lot of X things that we be all into. See, okay, you gotta think of it.
I like it.
Gotta see the whole picture with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, shout out to y'all for pulling up on here tonight. And like I said, Nova, you could get to this thing now. And because I want you to explain to me about this colorism thing. Because me, I don't really think about color. I'll be honest with you, I really don't. I make fun of the light skin stuff, but when it comes to race, I don't. I have a multicultural family. Mm-hmm. So I really don't think about it. And I've grown up around so many different races that like my mom made sure I was exposed. Even though I'm from the hood, my mom's made sure I was exposed to everything. So I'm not uncomfortable in any room. I could sit with the person from the deepest, darkest hood to the richest motherfucker on the planet, and I'll feel perfectly comfortable in any of those rooms. You know, my mom's raised me with that. So, you know, shout to her for that, for giving me that birthday. You know what I'm saying? Her birthday coming up this month too. So,
okay.
Saying February 17th, that's her day. You know what I'm saying? It gives me the perfect Valentine's Day escape. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to even deal with that annoying ass holiday. But anyway, so go ahead. Let me know what your perspective on this colorism thing is.
It's a huge perspective, Max. I got so much to say. Okay. So I grew up similarly, right? Like I grew up similar, like, you know, there's so many different cultures, ethnicities, colors in my family. I didn't know that, like, you know, racism was a thing or homophobia was a thing until I got into college. And I was like, wait, why do you guys care? As I've gotten older, though, so this is like multifaceted, because as I've gotten older and learned more about my culture, learned more about accurate American history, it's been a topic that I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, right? And I think that we know for sure in our country, like, racism is a thing. We know that colorism is a thing, even amongst Black and brown people. Trudy, listen, right? Like, that's, so it's like, all right, so that since being in the lifestyle, not 2 years yet, I noticed that there is diversity, but there isn't a lot of diversity. And I've often heard the phrases like white lifestyle communities versus Black lifestyle communities. And I'm like, okay, what's the difference? And people have asked me, like, have you ever been to a white lifestyle event? And I'm just like, what does that mean? Right? So those things.
You know, that's what I first said when I first heard somebody say that to me, because I was like, I told you the story about how I first got started years ago with the models and all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that it was multicultural up in there. Everybody was in that motherfucker. Now, granted, it smelled like money in that motherfucker too, because this shit was in a legit mansion with the big chandeliers coming down. It was real fancy. Like, I got to walk into this shit bougie style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was, you know, that was in my 20s when I used to be modeling all that shit. But my whole thing is that when I first heard that, I didn't hear that until I started fucking with y'all over here in this corner of the lifestyle. Not you, but I'm saying y'all, like the people that we have that follow us now. A lot of them, all of this is like, I've only interacted in this corner of the universe for a few years. I spent a lot of years tribing. There was times I was in this shit and I didn't even realize I was in this shit because I was just hanging out and having fun. Next thing you know, I'm in the room humping. And it's just a whole thing. And it's like, oh shit, you know, you don't realize what you really getting into. But the whole thing is that the like white party, black party, like, but the crazy thing is they really have parties like that.
And that's the thing, right? So like, I've heard about that, and then I hear, you know, the running consensus is like, oh, at white events, play happens quicker. And I'm like, okay.
Which is true.
Right, but this is what I'm 100%. Saying. Like, what's a white event? Because even when you said, this is what you said, right? And in my mind, I just had to correct someone about this probably yesterday, day before yesterday. They said, so over the weekend, you know, I was in Philly, so I wasn't home. It was freezing. My pipes froze. There was no running water when I got home. Right? Oh shit!
You don't know the running water trick, so you don't get your pipes to freeze, man.
I do, but I forgot. I was rushing out. Like, I did that when I was in the Poconos, but I forgot. So, long story short, I was talking to somebody about it, and they said, you better act like you're from the hood and be black and, you know, boil some. And I was like, okay, what we're not going to do is put black people as synonymous to hood. Right. And so like, that was one of my things. And so that is like something that grinds my gears. And then, so when you said like, oh, I forget the words that you used, and like amongst the rich, it's almost like there's like a inherent understanding that being amongst wealthy people means that I'm not saying this is what you meant, but like being amongst wealthy people means that you're in more of a white crowd, and being amongst like the hood people means that you're in a more black crowd. And yes, we know that like numbers don't lie, but what I'm saying is a lot of times we make those things synonymous with black and white, and I don't like that.
Well, here's my thing. What's up, Gigi? Yo, Samora, what up? Oh, I said Samora. It might be Seymour. My bad.
Seymour Pesos. Hey.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. I said Samora. I know it's shorty named Samora. That's why So my thing is, now I've been to what you would say, I guess, a white party. But my thing is this is the definition. I don't think it's meant to be taken into a racial context. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's just identifying who is, how do I say this? It's just in terms of who's throwing the party, and the predominant amount of people that are at that party are this.
Yeah.
Like if you go to, I forget the name of that place down in Jersey. Somebody tell me the name of it. I forget the name of it. It's a spot. Damn, I really forget it. I'm thinking all these random names and none of them are it. But anyway, it's some spot down there somewhere in South Jersey. That they have parties at. The crowd is very mixed. Like there's a good amount of folks there that are white and other races. Then you see some black folk there too. Oh, thank you, Samantha Stables. I couldn't remember. Thank you, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
I need to remember. I need to go. I need to pull back up there. I got to take a trip out there. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is that I will cop to this. There is a difference in the play type and play level, because I feel like most of the time, and this is just most of the time, from my perspective, I see a lot of times black folk tend to be a bit more timid when it comes to their play. Like if you go to parties that have a more predominantly black demographic, a lot of times they're dipping off. Like if it's a hotel takeover, everybody's creeping in their room and they're close, and they go in their little room, they do their thing, they jump from person to person that way if that's what they're gonna do. And it is what it is. But on the other side of the tracks, them motherfuckers is fucking wherever they fucking at, and it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like there is a difference, but I also feel like it's a regional difference too. Like I've said this before. When it comes to the Northeast, I'm gonna say this. When it comes to New York is bougie. Most of the events in New York, people don't go in the way they be wanting to go in. But trust and believe, I came upstairs ready to start slinging a little something before I got extra high and sweaty. Once I got sweaty, I was like, I ain't doing shit. Yeah. But before I got into all that, took a little creep upstairs. And, people were sitting around staring. There was maybe one couple over here that was doing a little something bullshit. I'm sure it picked up eventually. But my point is I'm impatient. I come there, I want to see naked bodies everywhere. I want to see people going in. And you just don't tend to see that so much in the New York events. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that I personally see. So I think it's not so much racial as it is demographic, because I just don't see it regardless of who's there. Like the last party, it was a mix. It was plenty of white people there, plenty of black people there, plenty of Spanish people there. It was a nice mix. It was really balanced. Mm-hmm. And even with all that being said, it's still, everybody was still kind of more focused on partying, which is cool. It's having a good, like I said, I had a great time. It was fun. But my whole thing is, it seemed like they was more focused on the party than the fucké. You feel me? But yes. I want to touch on something.
Okay.
Because I want to say this. what do you think about the fetishizing of races? Because like, like they have, like at Samantha Stables especially, I know that they have what they call dark cock nights, pause, and white cock nights, pause. You understand what I'm saying? Like and my thing is like, personally to me, it doesn't bother me because again, I told you, I don't really think about race. I just think some women like a darker dick, some women like a lighter dick, whatever. That's just, like it is what it is. But I can't, like my thing is that I know the owners of that spot. Like I've spoke with the guys of that spot. These guys are not racist motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're just throwing theme parties because that's how their crowd likes to play.
Yes, the theme based on the races. And so I didn't know what of like I'm gonna say it. I didn't know what like a Queen of Spades was before I joined. Like I've seen it on like porn categories, of course, but like to see it live in action and the lifestyle was like, wow. And I had a conversation with someone and they were like, no, it's offensive. And I admittedly didn't know the history of that term. And so then like it is, but people do fetishize it. So I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea because here's the reality. I am pro-Black, right? Like I feel like me and Fred Hampton would have been best friends, you know what I mean, back in the day. Like I am a revolutionary, I'm for my people and all of that stuff. That being said, I haven't had a white sex partner since like high school, right? And that was probably like once because I'm like, I don't know, like as I grew older, I just was like, if it's not Black, it's not for me. And so that's my thing. And so I feel extra protective of my people. I feel extra protective of Black men, especially being fetishized. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I'm like, who am I to yuck someone's yum if someone is a willing participant? So it's such an internal conflict because it's like, if I'm in a room and there's race play happening, am I okay with that? No. And these are two consenting adults. So it's like, I have, like, my mind is literally reeling right now. It's so hard.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. I want to answer. Kimmy asked the question. She said, because she doesn't know what the Queen of Spades thing is. So basically, back in slavery days, the way that they used to pick out the Black men, they used to use cards, literally playing cards. And they would identify the Black men by the different spades cards that they had when they were doing the auctions to sell off the slave men. So the thing is that even though a lot of people don't really realize what that history is, that's where the spades thing really comes from, because Black men used to be referred to as spades in that situation, as they were being sold like property, not human beings. Now, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to slide to the other side. The women that are saying the Queen of Spades thing, they're not thinking of it in the slave term. They're thinking of it as they just have a thing for Black men because the spade was always used as identified for the Black men. The problem is the history of it is very dark. So because of that, most people don't like that fucking shit. Like I said, with me, I take it or leave it only because I understand the nuance of where they're coming from with it. But my whole thing is that at the same time, I can't pretend like I don't know the history on it. So I would say, if you want to operate in a space of not being offensive, you might want to bury the Queen of Spades personas and just be like, I love, if you love black men, that's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. You can like whatever you want, black, white, orange, yellow, purple, green, or blue. It's all good. But you gotta learn where the history of things are and understand. That's like you're basically saying you're the queen of niggas. That's what it sounds like to a lot of black people when they hear that queen of spades shit. Because in their minds, they got to understand there's a lot of racial PTSD genetically sewn into our fabric because we generationally have been raised in an environment where people of color were treated less than. I mean, shit, you could look around in today's society and see the way ICE is out here cutting up and realize that a lot of this shit is just as bad now, if not worse, in some ways than it was back then. It might not be motherfuckers being strange fruit swinging from a tree so much, even though that still happens. Yes, lynching does still happen. They don't talk about it, but it still happens.
Calm down.
But you got to understand, if you really want to move in a path of being non-offensive, you probably should bury that whole spades thing. Just like what you like. We don't have to identify it. It's like me. I'm not going to give a person of any race any kind of weird identifier. I'm going to just be like, I think she looks good. I'm not going to be like, oh man, these white women, I got to get me one of those. Oh man, there's Asian women, I got to get me one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like what I like.
It's called intergenerational trauma is what it's called. And that's how trauma shows up in your genetics. So even if as a person of color, you've never been exposed to racism or prejudice or, the oppression, it still is embedded in your genes if anyone in your lineage was a part of the transatlantic slave trade. And so that's what it is. And so it's like, so it's like something in me gets riled up, and then it's like, and the lifestyle is supposed to be non-judgmental. So it's like, and I will also say this. I'm new to FetLife, and I'm really bad at keeping up with it. But someone on FetLife wanted to hook up with me, but they were a white man, and I was just like, I couldn't. And I'm like, are you, I was going to say, are you being racist? But they say that you can't be racist if you are a part of an oppressed group. But like, are you being like discriminatory? And do you have a right to discriminate? Like, it's just, if it makes me feel uncomfortable. And so I need everyone else in the world to help me, because I don't know if it's something that I want to move through or if I just want to stick to how I feel about it.
I respect that. Oh, and Ty Curtis, to answer your question, no, BDSM is not slavery, only because it's voluntary. When you're a slave, you're doing something against your consent, against your wishes. You're being forced to do something against your will. That is what slavery is. Kind of like the jobs that all of us are forced to work so that we can pay bills and shit. That's probably closer to slavery than BDSM ever would be. Yeah. BDSM
it's all about consent.
It's all about consent, number one, but BDSM is a fetish. That is something that you have a liking to. That's something that you choose. The moment that you choose not to, it ain't a thing for you. And that's how that's supposed to work. Keep hitting that like button, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? Because without that understanding, you're going to take things the wrong way. Like, there's nothing wrong if you like having a little spanking, a little flogging. It's perfectly fine. That is not being a slave. That's a fetish that you are wired to have. People that are into BDSM psychologically are wired different. I've explained this before, but they're wired different, and their pain receptors translate that pain into pleasure in a different way. Also, they get pleasure off of different things. Some get pleasure off of the dominance. Like me, I get pleasure off of dominance. When a woman is submissive to me, it stimulates me. in a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? But she has to carry herself in a certain way along with that. There's a lot of difference in the wiring. My wiring is super crazy because I'm a poly BDSM swinging ass. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I just was
the intersectionality is real. But that's the thing, and I'm smiling hard because it's like, yes, I like to be flogged, but like, OMG, to even think about a white person flogging me, I
nah, but you gotta
help me, Matt.
You gotta understand that you gotta take the race out of it and just be like, is this a person that you would enjoy doing this to you or not? Because if it's about the race, then you're being prejudiced.
I hear you. And so this is the thing, right? And it's an awkward conversation, but like I had this conversation with my dad about like porn categories, and he's like, I can watch a black man with a white woman any day, easy. He was like, but I can't watch a black woman with a white man. And I was like, right? Like in porn, and especially to be like, you know, the like degradation and all of that stuff. And he was like, I just can't do it. And so it's just like, you know, it's part of that internalized intergenerational mindset, and it's a tough line. And I think it's like, okay, and that's why I chose this topic, because it's like, where does race come into play? Like, what if I'm at an event and I enjoy playing, and there's like guys in the room, and I'm like, yes, give them all to me, and then there's a white penis there, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on, I don't know, and it's like, I don't know if there's work that needs to be done, or if this is just my preference, or if I could just stay within my comfort zone of that. I don't know.
Well, the thing is there's a thin line between prejudice and preference. So the thing is, that when you're prejudiced, you are literally just, listen to the word, the prefix is pre. And then you say Judas, which is a suffix for judging.
Right.
So the thing is that you're prejudging somebody based on their appearance instead of judging them based on the content of their character. Prejudice in any form is wrong. Now, if you have a preference and say, no, I just happen to prefer this, that's perfectly okay. You have a right to prefer this. But when you prejudge or be prejudiced to anyone just because they look like this, y'all got to understand, when you talk about genetics, you're a couple of DNA markers different from each other in a sea. I don't even remember how many genetic markers we consist of, but literally letting the melanation of somebody's skin judge on how you treat and or interact with them, to me, is silly.
It's not silly to me, Max, because I can't.
Hold on.
Okay.
Reason why it's silly is because if we took that layer and peeled that some bitch off, then what everybody gonna do?
No, but we're not gonna do it.
The fact of the matter is that one day we're all gonna be Polynesian. Because everybody's going to mix to the point that there's not gonna be a way to truly identify the different races, but so much. If you look at the way they try to pretend, even in America, that we're still a minority, we truly aren't even a minority as much as we used to be. In truth, if you look at all the minorities and put them together, they're more majority than minority. I was at Lola's birthday party. I couldn't even, man, I wanted to come out to that shit. But I couldn't even come out there because I had to go to her shit. She'd have freaking castrated me if I didn't come to her birthday. You know, every time I want to come out there, all y'all make y'all events the same goddamn time. It's so exhausting. All of y'all. But
see, I'm I do understand what you're saying, but I'm with what Joy just said, right? We can't ignore the fact that the color of your skin affects how you're treated in this world. And so the thing is, how do you switch that on and off in the lifestyle, right? Because I know that as a Black woman, I am extra hyper vigilant around white people in my day-to-day life, right? And it's not because I'm not in positions of power and authority and I don't have my own privilege, but because of, the context of our country, I am hyper vigilant around white people unless they are someone who's like an out loud ally. And so then how do you turn that on and off? Do you turn it on and off in the lifestyle? When you're at an event, is it different? Is it different at an event because we're all here as people in this community? Or is it something that it's something that I do carry?
Uh-huh. And the thing is, you're literally carrying the genetic PTSD of being a minority in America, because this country was built on the blood, sweat, and tears of Black people, period. Without Black people, this country would not exist in the form that it does now. There's no question about that, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that that's not true. My thing is that when it comes to something like that, I say, just like you don't judge somebody for being gay, you don't judge somebody for being bi or whatever it is that they are. There's so many different designations I can't keep.
Right. Anybody in the LGBTQ plus community.
But the thing is that you just treat them like a person. That's how you turn it off. You just see a person. And if they come to you with good, positive energy, we all have that intuition within us, the sense when somebody's coming at us foul and when somebody's coming at us just on some legit cool shit. Judge case by case instead of by individual.
I think that comparison isn't helpful for me because people in the LGBTQ plus community are not known and systemically prone to oppressing me. Hey, newbie.
And I get that, but my point is, this is my point. I'm just saying you have to learn to code switch it. This is a good way to do it. The thing is, you have to open your mind up to doing it. This is called evolving. We share this planet. No matter how much you wanted to not be that, if you wanted to be a planet of just all melanated people, that's not realistic.
That's not what I want. And here's the thing though, Max, that's not what I want. And I don't inherently have an aggressive, oppressive position when it comes to non-Black people. However, it is true opposite. And so I'm exactly what Joy is saying, that if it feels like my guard has to be up until it can be down. And it's something that I have a hard time differentiating when I'm in the lifestyle community. Granted, I'm more likely to be around white people in the lifestyle community than I am in my own personal life, just because of the communities that I operate within. But when I am, I'm guarded. My guard is up because the lifestyle is about safety. And that to me is an immediate safety concern until I know it's not. And it's not it's not white people's fault or responsibility, but it does require an acknowledgement of privilege and position.
Okay, and I get that. I want to read what this one is. Oh, good. I'm glad that Jeep is speaking. She's one of our allies here.
Jeep said that, and that's what Jeep said. She said, you wouldn't have a problem if I flogged you, and that's true. But I know Jeep to be an active, out loud ally.
But this is the point of it, though, is that if you didn't know her and you saw her somewhere, and I mean, she, as delicious as she looks to me, she is a looks straight from Switzerland. Like, she's got the blonde hair, the blue eyes. She could be from, she could be one of the, I don't know where her ancestry is from. But the thing is, she literally has the stereotypical look that a white woman would have. When you think of a white woman and you see her, you're like, oh, okay. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my point is, if you didn't know her, your reaction shouldn't automatically be, oh my God, let me watch. Because you got to understand, I'm going to flip it for you too. I don't like, and I'm going to just say this, when I go somewhere, and it happens to me all the time because I'm in many different circles around different people. There's plenty of times I'm around different white folk that aren't even used to seeing black people like that. And when they see me, I'm 6'6", 305 pounds. They see my big black ass, and I can see the fear in them before, and I haven't said anything. I got a smile on my face. I'm just minding my business. I'm on the elevator. There's plenty of times I'll see them. If they see me walking towards the elevator, they hurry up and try to get it to close before I get there. And my thing is, we got to get out of these stereotypes that incite fear. Because the thing is, it's on both sides. When you think about it, there's a lot of them on that side.
Both sides are justified.
No, but the thing is, it could be justified to them because you have to understand something. A lot of people only know what they grew up around, and it's not so much about white and black as it is culturally and demographically what you grew up around. So my thing is, if you're not used to seeing folks and you see them, and the only thing you know of them is what you see on TV, on social media. TV and social media tends to give a stereotype. Like, you see me, I got on jewels, I got a hood on and my shades on. You're going to think I'm hood. You wouldn't realize that I got a whole bunch of education and certification and all this other shit until you actually listen to me speak. But off the rip, they might think I'm some kind of goon from the ghetto or some shit like that because of my appearance. And that thing is, it's the same thing on that side. That's what you're seeing. You don't want to hear it because you are stubborn in your stereotypes. But the thing is,
I also don't want to hear it because you said if you see someone and the only thing you know about them is what you've seen on media, right, or like TV or movies and things like that, and how they're depicted there. I agree with that, but I'm not basing it on media. I'm basing it on historical facts. Right. And so that's the difference. And that's why I'm shaking my head, because I'm like, no, that's not it. Like Jeep,
what has happened to you?
Hold on. So I'm going to use Jeep as an example because Jeep is a beautiful example of allyship. When I first met Jeep, she came to me. She was nice. Well, she wasn't really that nice. She was like, I sent you a friend request on Facebook. And I was like, oh, you did? But eventually, like that was just her way of being kind. And then she just started talking and it was a flowing conversation. To me, that's automatically something that's going to help soften me. Right. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to make this, speech, your consent speech about, race and all that other stuff. But I am saying that there has to be intentionality of creating that safe space when handling and addressing race within the lifestyle. And the reality of it is, in this country, Black people are treated wrong by white populations. And so when you translate that into a sexual environment and the lifestyle, I think that it's worth addressing. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be a formal addressing. It's just a matter of showing friendship and kindness and allyship. And then add on to that, playing with people. And then how do I decide, how do I differentiate what that looks like and the line that I would cross there? It's tough. It's a tough conversation.
I mean, I get it because, like I said, it's a very hard barrier to cross. And my thing is, no matter how many different ways, like I said, me and you are diametrically opposed on our perspectives of this. Maybe, like I said, I have family that's legit. That's why I have this complexion I have. My grandmother was French and Native American. She wasn't Black. You understand what I'm saying? So I have a non-Black grandmother. And I have a whole side of my family that's not Black. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. I've had very close interaction to see. And the thing is, they were very much standing next to us as if they was one of us. You understand what I'm saying? But not on some, as they like to say, culture vulture type thing, whatever, where it's like, oh, you're trying to do this and that. But no, they were themselves, but they could empathize with the circumstances and agreed with the wrongness of the things that have happened. Because to this day, as we speak, people, because of their race, creed, or culture, are literally being thrown in concentration camps. Like that's happening right now. And my thing is, for all these people that I'm reading all this, everybody, oh, black this, black that. Here's gonna be, I'm gonna hold the accountability. I want to say this: if you skipped your goofy ass to vote for Trump, and then want to complain about the racial conditions of this country, then congratulations, you played yourself. Because I know some of y'all did it. And my thing is, I'm actually surprised that that's such an issue, because I see more self-hate than I see hatred or anxiety of anyone else. I see people hate on themselves all the time. Literally shoot their nose off to spike their face and then complain about the fact that they can't smell nothing. You gotta make this shit make fucking sense.
It's true, Max.
We perpetuate this situation so much. A lot of the stereotypes that fall into place, sometimes we are our own worst enemies.
Okay, so here's what I think, right? So I was on a cruise last month, and I went to Mexico, and I'm gonna answer Tahi's question also, because that was a good question. But I went to Mexico, and I went to this site of Mayan ruins, and they talked about the history of this site, and they talked about how in Mexico, if there's a historical site and you find it on your land, you have to report it to the government, because then it belongs to the people. So right away to me, I was like, not in America. And then they talked about how the Mayans had, what they did in Mexico, how Spaniards came in, how they changed the language based on their own alphabet, how that affected the culture, and then how they tried to rectify that. And to me, it was like a sigh of relief, because it didn't mean that the oppression and the enslavement didn't happen. It meant that there was acknowledgement and there was action taken to change it. And so I'm not asking for people to change what has happened in this country and what is actually happening in this country. I'm asking for acknowledgement, and I think it's important that it's addressed directly.
Fuck that, bro. Roll that back. We are asking them to change the bullshit that's currently happening in this country.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. But we first need it to be acknowledged, and that's where it isn't. And so I'm saying that not only as our country, but also in the lifestyle. I'm not asking for, like I said, a huge speech about race when I'm at a predominantly white event, but I'm asking for the environment and the culture to be that says, okay, this is something that we know and we address here. And I don't know if that happens because I haven't been to predominantly white events. So that's the one thing. The second thing that Tahi said that I said yes to, and he wowed my comment. He said, okay, just asking. If you're sick and a white doctor is there to help you, are you looking at them sideways? Heck yeah. I am looking at them sideways, because as a Black woman in this country, the fact of the matter is we receive disproportionately worse care and we die at disproportionately larger rates than other populations. And as a Black woman who has 5 years cancer-free, it took a lot of advocacy for me to find a team of mostly white doctors who I knew would have my back and advocate for me and listen to me and not just treat me like another number in a statistic. So yes, I function like this in every aspect of my life, from personal to professional to social, everything. And now that I'm in the lifestyle, I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that by staying true to myself and being open-minded, because that's what I want from other people as well.
Yeah, because that's what it takes. I mean, honestly, it's a process. It's not easy. It's easy for me because, like I said, the way that I grew up, a lot of times the way that you grow up is going to have a lot to do with it because it's something that has to literally, like, it's sewn into my DNA that I don't think about it at all. So when I
I
walk
don't
into,
think about it either. I think I didn't think about it until it started to personally affect me. Because I am like you, Max. Like I do have a lot of white people in my family. I have a lot of white people in my family. My great grandmother was white and Native American, and so like yes, I do have that in my family. So I know what it means to be safe and to be connected to allies. And so I think that that's also where I'm coming from with that.
no, I get that. But like I said, and I will say this too, just to be fair, all human beings are tribal by nature. So there's always going to be a certain level of comfort around your own people, around people that are more familiar to you culturally than those who are not. There'll be a discomfort to that when you're in a space that you're just not used to. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because that's very, very difficult. My thing is, and I do agree about the care. I see the difference. I know about the medical statistics because I know enough people in medical field. I hear it. I hear about the treatment. I know black women that are doctors and how they're treated differently than those who are their white counterparts. Matter of fact, I got one for you better. Now, those of you who know the levels of the medical field, you have one person that's a doctor, got their DNP. You got another person who maybe has their RN working on the NP, allegedly, whatever. The one working on their RN, not working on their NP, is a white woman. The one that already had their DNP and tons of years of experience is the black woman. Let me tell you what happened. And I've seen this myself. When they was deciding who to let go and who to keep, the person that had all the experience and skills that they needed, they let her go and kept the woman who barely knew what she was doing. And what's ironic, though, and I bust your head with this, it wasn't a white woman making that decision, though. This was an Indian woman making that decision. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the thing is that the marginalization of the black race as a whole is a very big thing in this country. You have to be twice as good to get half as much. That is a very real thing. Like, my first name is crazy. I'm not even saying it on the show because I ain't doing it. But my whole thing is that when I put my name on a job application, because I'm looking to change jobs now, I know for a fact that there are times they saw my name and just my resume off. Meanwhile, I have all the requisite experience that they need. Keep in mind, I've been one of the best candidates. I'm a savant. Anything that I see, I learn how to do like this. You'll think I had 10 years of training doing the shit, and I just watched the shit a few times and figured it out and learned how to do it. When I worked with somebody doing massages, I worked with a professional massage therapist. I learned how to do that from them. And the way that I was doing it, I figured it out like this because between understanding pressure points, how muscle tissue works, and all the other stuff, and seeing how they did it, I picked it up like this. But am I going to get the phone call first? Probably not. Why? Because name before anything else. It happens to all of us, and it is very, very unfortunate that it is like that, which is why I empathize and I can feel the situation is not easy. Black women die at a higher rate in hospitals than any other woman in this country when it comes to medical treatment. And the only difference is that it's a black woman receiving that treatment. So I can understand when you come and then see this person on thing, it can create an anxiety. It's not even you necessarily feeling it on purpose. It's a subconscious reaction. Subconscious reactions take time to work through, which is why you need that verification. You need to be, you need them to confirm that they are not coming at you on some sly shit because of a lot of the systemic shit that's happening. Because in the truth, it's really not about black and white when you really think about it. It's about classism. It's about the system itself. The system itself, though, yes, white men are the predominant ones that run that system. There's a lot of color in that system also participating in the oppression too, because it's about economic classism as well as racial classism. So when you have all of those factors involved, we got to remember. And the thing is, this is something that I wanted to say. I'm actually glad to be saying it on this show. Racism and prejudice are a distraction. While we are sitting here splitting hairs off of melanated colors of skin, fighting against and dividing, being divisive against each other, the powers that be are taking a whole fucking store from us and leaving us with scraps on the table because we are too busy worried about the wrong shit. And that is one of the biggest problems that we have on this planet, let alone in this country. Because if we all put the bullshit aside and truly work together against the few that are, do you know, and I just got to spit this fact, do you know that 60% of the wealth of this country is held by the top 1%?
Mm-hmm.
And they're of different colors. Most of them are white, yes, but they're of different colors. Because at the end of the day, the biggest color that matters out here is green. But we ain't focused on that. We focused on the wrong fucking shit. And that's why us as a people steady losing. Because there's plenty of white people that are sitting right next to us, struggling to pay their bills, struggling to keep their car from being towed, and all this other shit. All of this shit is connected. I know this ain't necessarily about LS, but the lifestyle is about your life. So my thing is that we spend too much time worrying about the bullshit. And to me, it's bullshit. I understand and I empathize. I totally get your reaction and you're not wrong. But my thing is, and this is my goal, is to get people to go beyond the bullshit, because that's why I'm working to get into politics. I'm meeting with city council and doing all this other stuff, because my thing is that we are too busy being crabs in a barrel, fighting each other off of a scrap, while these people are sitting here with a big ass cake that they can never hope to eat.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think that I would like for us to be able to get beyond nonsense. And that's hard to do when you don't feel safe. And safety is important. And so, you know, these comments are going in. These comments are for real. And I love them because, you know, Joy, shout out to Joy. She said, in the LS, Black men are looked at as the prize. Everyone is looking for that BBC. There's no equivalent for Black women. Right. And then it says, Kimmy agreed. She said, the men are the fetish, the women are the problem. And then De Silva, I haven't seen that name.
I disagree with that. I don't like that. But I get that happens. No, I get that happens. But I don't like that. Like the fact that the women are not the problem.
Nobody likes it.
I'm just stating my position. I don't like
that. Yeah, no, I agree. And then De Silva said, we don't just have to deal with white supremacy, which is really white narcissism, but we also have to deal with anti-Blackness from all the other so-called races or nationalities, including us. And that's funny because I remember I did when my business was 5 years old, I hosted a gala and I was going to my family, and, you know, my uncles are 5%ers. And so I went to them and I said, you know, the letter that I had for them, it said, you know, like, my business is a BIPOC-centered, you know, organization. And he said, what is BIPOC? And I said, it's Black Indigenous People of Color. And he said, I don't have a problem with the BIPOC, but, you know, the IPOC don't really like to be in BIPOC. And it's true. It's true. And then I think the solution, because we are solution oriented people, the solution is education and information. I think that's the solution, with an open mind, is information and education. Because a lot of times all of the things that I know to be true about like racism and oppression toward Black people in this country is based on history that I've learned after high school, even after college. And that's what puts my guard up even more, because it's like, shucks, I didn't know these things happen. But we need to need to be educated. So if somebody comes to you and says like, am I welcome here? It's better to meet that conversation with an open mind and an open heart, as opposed to being guarded and defensive. And even me, like, that's why I asked for this topic, because I know this is something that I have had a lot of internal conflict about in the lifestyle, and I don't want to be conflicted. I want to have more peace in my decision making, and I want to be able to be as open-minded as possible in a way that keeps me safe. So, you know, like, this is something that I think that I'm gonna continue to deal with. And shout out, I got a new mentor, so shout out to her, because I'm definitely gonna bring it to her. But like, this is something that, and I have open conversations. Like, I've talked to Jeep, I've talked to other white women in the lifestyle about some of my feelings, and it's been helpful, because it makes me it helps me to soften where I've been guarded. And I think that that's my entire intention behind this conversation, is to have more information and education, and so that we can be there and support one another.
And see, that's the thing too, because I'm gonna say this. Anybody that has a problem with the fact that this is a topic of conversation, and nobody has said anything, I'm just saying this is going to be on YouTube. There's going to be people that's going to feel away, whatever. My thing is this. You have a people that spent hundreds of years as slaves under false pretenses, dragged across the water, where they did not ask to be here. They do all the work, put everything together, and then are treated as property for the first hundreds of years of their existence in this country. After they graduated from property, they went to being 2/3 of a man or woman, where they had the Jim Crow days. And now we have what's called distinguished racism, meaning it's not the Jim Crow shit, even though they're trying to roll back things to get back there. Now it's more about classism with the undertone of racism mixed in there. Because really now it's about, you're either with us or you're with them. And if you're down here with us, ain't none of us billionaires as far as I know. Maybe there's a billionaire watching, but last time I checked, ain't no billionaires watching this show right now. And the fact of the matter is that even if I was, I'm still going to want to support and uplift my people in my community. And there should be nothing wrong with that. And the fact is that this circumstance of being treated like this, like me, I'm half West Indian, half American. My father's West Indian. So I've got it from that side because they were dragged here too. And I got it from the American side. My thing is that I just never, ever could forgive what this country has done. I don't have forgiveness in my heart for that. But I look at this country as a whole, and then I say to myself, you can see the racism in this country by the fact that just because we had a black man in office for 8 years that did a decent job, he thinks he could have did better, but I mean, everybody could do better with stuff. But he was a respectable, well-spoken, well-educated, charismatic individual that to this day still can light up a room with his conversations because he's got that it. Because we had him, and then after that, we had a progressive presidential situation where we had a vice president who was a black woman. And their reaction to all of that was, we gonna get the most racist, most hateful. It's literally the axis of evil sitting in there right now. And we have to live in this shit. Meanwhile, we're sitting up here being told, oh, you just gotta forgive and forget. No, I never forget. The only reason that I am able to function the way that I do is because I was able to bring myself, and like I said, it was sewn into my DNA to where I was able to look beyond that because I'm like, Jerry's not that. Jerry's my dude. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Roger that I know over here, he's not that. That's my friend. Da 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 da. These guys that I don't know, whoever their names may be, I don't know if they are that, but I'm not going to treat them like that till they show me that they are that. But to show that you have racial PTSD is totally acceptable and understandable. And if you need people to give you a little bit of verification to show that they are of that cloth, that they are not that badness that existed, that thing that perpetuates the systemic racism that happens in this country, that happens on this planet. Black people are second-class citizens all over the place. They're barely first-class citizens in the damn continent that they fucking came from. Because you know what they do there? Oh, you got motherfuckers talking about the oppression of the Afrikaners in Africa, in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally mind-blowing that even as much as we have evolved and as much as many people are not on that timing, there are many people that aren't. There are many people that are. They hold the key, and a lot of them are the holders of keys to doors that determine whether you can pay your bills or not. So I'm not mad at the anxiety that you hold. I'm glad that I don't hold it because, like I said, with me, I function different. But, and I'm going to speak to the white people who may watch this and understand. If you see a person of color who may seem naturally anxious around you, you have to understand the history of what has happened. You don't need to apologize for it. You ain't did it. It's not your fault. They don't hate you for it, but if you see a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of apprehensiveness, understand where it comes from. Because you don't just wash away several hundred years, several centuries of pain, of slaughter. You have castrated our word, because I don't want to say that because this is, YouTube. You have violated in so many ways. So as you're seeing here, for those white women who may see this and like to do the whole Queen of Spades, Monica,
oof,
I'm going to humbly ask you to pull it back if you're going to interact in a community that's multicultural. And the reason why I say that is because the origins of it, I get it, that is, you aren't taking it like that, but you have to be considerate of where it comes from. Just like if it was a Jewish situation, and granted, the swastika originally was a Buddhist symbol that they co-opted and turned into a Nazi symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go into a Jewish community with a swastika, but no, I don't mean nothing by it. It's a Buddhist symbol.
Exactly. And that's what I mean, Max. Is like, why are we then expected to be okay with it?
No, you're not. I'm not expecting you to be okay with it. I accept certain things just because I get the intent. But my thing is, ultimately, as you can see, and you look at the comments, the consensus is in the Black community that they don't like that shit in general. And you know what's really crazy is that the space thing was used even more for the men than the Black women. But when you think about it, for the most part, the Black women are even more offended by it than the Black men are. Because as much as people try to negatively stereotype Black women, which happens far too often, and I hate the fact that it happens like that, we need to stop perpetuating it. But a lot of the social media stuff and everything else perpetuates the situation, which is why it keeps happening. The algorithm feeds that because y'all support it, you're laughing at it, or whatever else. When the positive stuff comes on, it'll get like 5 likes. Somebody's talking about some ghetto shit, a girl swerving her head and drinking some Kool-Aid, that has 350K on likes. And my thing is that in order to change all of this, it starts with us, our level of acceptance. And when you see somebody doing that Queen of Spades thing, for example, don't get mad at them. Explain to them in a nice, calm, educated way that you find that to be I'm just saying, ignorance perpetuates ignorance. If you're talking about solutions. You don't make solutions by yelling at each other.
And I'm not saying yelling at each other, Max. I'm not saying that.
You have to have calm, cool, collected dialogue.
Also, what I'm saying,
a lot of them don't know. A lot of them really don't know. A lot of them don't know.
In this year, 2026, of information and Google at your fingertips, no.
Listen, a lot of them, there's a lot of things I don't know and I have Google at my fingertips. Do you know the different sections of the brain off the top of your head?
Yes.
No. Well, you might because you take sight.
Exactly.
But let me give you this. Do you know the intricate, the different parts of a circuit in electrical?
No, but that's not going to hurt anybody. No, and it's not based on
somebody. If you don't know how that works, you can flip a switch and electrocute yourself.
Max, you know exactly what I mean.
No, it can hurt you. I'm trying to make an example. If you want something to change, stop expecting things to change and nobody wants to take the effort to do it. Like I saw what Joy said, we're tired of educating the ignorant. But the thing is, if we want the ignorance to change, it doesn't change if everybody doesn't make the effort to change it. Everybody wants things to change without doing any effort. That's lazy.
Okay, I agree that if somebody comes to me with an open mind and they're like, this is something that I've done and, I hear that it's not okay. Can you, help me understand this? I'm open to that. However, I am not going to be responsible for someone not educating themselves about things that they do.
It's not about responsibility, though.
It is. It is because if you're saying that somebody asks you,
offends you, you should say something.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But don't say it like you trying to swing on them. You say it like, hey, I find that to be offensive. The history of that comes from slavery. It has a very negative connotation to it, and I don't like it. So I would appreciate if you did not do that.
Okay. Yes. And I'm with Seymour Pesos because he said, damn that, I'm not explaining anything. It's Black History Month.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why nothing ever gets accomplished. Because I get frustrated with my own people too. No, I get frustrated with my own people too. And I'm going to say this. The reason why I get frustrated with my own people is because Black folk will sit there and spend 15 hours complaining about everything that's fucking wrong, but won't take 5 minutes to take an effort to actually make anything fucking change. Like me, I said I have a problem with the way this political aspect is. I have 5 million things on my agenda already. And here I am adding another thing to my agenda because I feel like I can't just sit up there and complain about the political arena if I'm not willing to step up and do something to fucking change it. A lot of people will complain about what's going on with the whole presidency and ICE running through everywhere, but half these motherfuckers ain't vote. We always complaining. I'm tired of fucking complaining. Stop fucking complaining. If you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then shut the fuck up and deal with what's there.
That's true.
If you want something to change, then step up or shut the fuck up. Period. If you ain't gonna step up, then don't cry. If you mad that they running roughshod up there, doing whatever with your tax dollars, then tough. If you ain't gonna do nothing to fix the shit. And that's the problem.
And there's a rhetoric that Black people complain a lot and they don't do anything, and that's historically and factually not true.
It is factually true. I'm going to tell you why it's true. Look at the voting numbers. That will show you it right there.
A what?
A lot of Black folks did not vote. A whole lot of Black folks didn't vote. Just because some of them are sexist, so they didn't want a Black woman to go in there because they just don't want a woman in there. And then the other ones didn't vote because they was like, I don't like him and I don't like her, so I'm not going to vote for anybody. I had plenty of those conversations.
Okay. And
all over the place.
And let's also look at the system of voting. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that there's an excuse for people not voting. If you have the ability to vote and you know, then yes, you should absolutely vote. However, Matter of
fact, I'll tell you one better.
What?
If the voting thing didn't matter, right? Then why were they leveraging in Minnesota? Oh, we'll get ICE out of your city if you give us the voting rolls. If voting didn't matter, or why they bum rushed the capital of Atlanta and went to their voting agency and went there fucking with the voting system down there just recently. Why?
Why?
Because the voting does matter. But a lot of Black folk, when you talk to them, they'll go, oh, but we got the electoral college and blah, blah, blah. Listen, yes, there are things that need to be fixed. It's not a perfect system. But you can't win if you ain't in the game. You can't win from the sideline. How do you win the lotto if you don't buy a lotto ticket?
Max, what De Silva said is true. The lack of engagement in the political process is a reflection of the hopelessness and the exhaustion that's there. And you can be hopeless. You can be hopeless. It's not an excuse. It's the reality of it. Because just a couple of years ago, not decades ago, in Florida, they made it legal for people who had felony convictions to vote. And then right before voting happened, they added an addendum to the law that said, but you have to fill out this form. And that wasn't as widespread as the law being overturned. And so people, and we know that Black people are more likely to have felonies than other groups of people. People turned out to vote. A lot of Black people turned out to vote, and they were arrested because they hadn't filled out the form. Actually,
that's not true. If you
look at Florida,
if you look at most of the criminal, in Florida, no, that's not even true there.
It is true.
Actually, no, most crime is not committed by us.
No, I'm not saying most crime. I didn't say most crime. I said the felony convictions. That's what I'm saying. People who have felony convictions. There was a whole broadcast, this is the new law, and then they undercut it by adding an addendum that they didn't broadcast as loudly, and a lot of Black and brown people were arrested when they went to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that when we think about it, because it's not about politics, right? Because we're not all about politics, but it is a system, and the system that we have in this country overflows into the lifestyle. And because the system overflows into the lifestyle, I think there has to be some acknowledgement, some education, some conversations about it so that we can figure out how to be safe and free without negating the reality of why there's some tension there.
Right? So you are right about that. Black people do have the highest rate of felony convictions in Florida. I'm looking at it now.
I
The
know.
highest
I be knowing a little bit
incarceration.
about a little bit. I didn't know the percentage of people in therapy, but I knew the percentage of felons in Florida. So, it's an intense conversation. And just as you and I love each other and we have a difference of opinion and we're both Black people. So imagine how that overflows to other populations and other races. And then imagine how that overflows into how people feel in the lifestyle. It's a lot of unspoken things, and we have to be able to have conversations, disagree, agree to disagree on things that you can agree to disagree on, right? Because there's that quote, like, we can agree to disagree unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression. And that's how I feel. And so if we're going to agree to disagree or even disagree, let's do it in a way that keeps the lifestyle safe and keeps it open and keeps us able to engage with each other in a free way.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
And when you look at the actual statistic, we actually are 38.3% of the inmates in the system convicted of felons, but the white is at 57% in the country as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that. But of course, they are technically majority, so that makes sense that they would have a higher number. But considering that we are a minority, that's a high amount per person to have. You understand what I'm saying? And then you look at other races, and it's like 3%, 1%, whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's not like they ain't doing crimes or nothing. It's just who's actually getting jammed up in this.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
So imagine going to a lifestyle event in Florida.
I mean, y'all do when y'all go to Secrets.
I've never been to Secrets, but I do plan on going there and turning up a little bit.
I have an intention to go there too, but my thing is that it's really unfortunate when it comes to the situation, as far as in this demographic of being in a lifestyle and having the different reactions, the vibes that go on and all of that stuff. Let me see what she said. And see, I'll put this up too. As I'm saying,
shout out to Jeep. We love her.
No, but this is my thing too. I like the fact that Jeep doesn't squirrel away from the conversation. Because some folk, they'll see this conversation, they're like, oh shit, nope, I'm going to go do it. I ain't going to she's the only one that's been on here saying stuff, and I got plenty of people of many different races on my page. So the fact of the matter is that I get it. They don't want to whatever, and this whatever it is, because it's a sensitive topic. You understand what I'm saying? And but like she said, and I agree with this, you do have to educate the ignorant. Just like you do have to actually be a participant in the change. We say we want things to change, but they don't change if nobody makes an effort to do so. It can't just be one person coming out saying, I'm going to run around. And I mean, listen, I try to get to everybody I can, but I can't be everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is that if you listen to the majority of Black folk, that like the apathy that they have when it comes to things like this, and like you said, the hopelessness, it depresses me, because I'm like, if you give up, then you've already lost.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you don't even realize that these things have to be discussed. You might not like the conversation. It might be annoying to have it, but oh well, this is the country that you live in. Right. You want to be in the lifestyle and mix with people of different cultures. Some of them are not going to understand the nuance of certain aspects of how to engage with other races or how to not be offensive.
Agreed.
So if you want that to not continue to happen, if you want topics like this to not continue to be a thing, then you have to take the effort to make the change. Just like anything else. You cannot progress without effort. That's it. There's nothing else. You can't win. Like I said, we have the things we have here now because we went to sleep as a people. As a people, we did not come out, and now we got motherfuckers being thrown in concentration camps. My Hispanic brothers and sisters are being thrown in there by the fucking boatload. We got abuelas being thrown in there. Kids. People getting killed in the street. Kids. All of that being thrown in there. Because you went to sleep. Yeah. Because you said voting is bullshit. Because you didn't take this shit seriously. Yes, I'm emphasizing the voting thing because it is connected. This is a part of changing the narrative. You have to change the narrative from up top all the way down. You have to be active in your local communities, in your local elections, in your local everything. You have to be engaged. If you are not engaged, then don't fucking complain when the shit blows up in your face. Because that's what's going to happen each and every time. No matter what. This will continue to be the situation. When we talk about this, reincarnated 1,000 years from now, still going through the same bullshit because motherfuckers still got the same mentality.
Don't reincarnate me. Okay, I guess I can.
You don't have control over it, so don't worry about it.
Next, golly. All right, so how do we close this out? Because I got chicken in the oven.
Yeah, I got food to get to too. But the thing is this is very, very, very important.
It is. It's an important topic.
I need people to understand the reason why I use the political climate, because normally I don't go into the political thing here. I have a TikTok for that. You ever follow me there? But my whole thing is that if you want things to change in any community, including the lifestyle, you have to be willing to have the conversation. You can't sit there and just whisper amongst yourselves and then expect something to be different. Because you got to realize something. We all in this shit together, whether we like it or not.
Right.
We all on this planet. Ain't nobody got FTL technology to take off to another planet somewhere. The nearest habitable planet is out of our reach. So we stuck here as of right now. Maybe that'll change later. But as of right now, this is what it is. We are in this shit together. Right. So if you want this to change, you have to learn to work with those that don't look like you, just like you work with those that do.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
That's the only way, because you understand, all of us is getting killed on this. Everybody's getting fucking squashed. Everybody's stressed. There's a lot of things going on. So why are we wasting time with bullshit? To me, worrying about somebody just because they white is bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. You bleed red just like I do. Why am I scared of you for? I ain't scared of nobody. No man, woman, child, or otherwise is scaring me. Why? Because you bleed the same thing I do. I don't give a shit. I'm not letting nobody take me off my motherfucking square.
I think that in order for us to move through this in the lifestyle, especially everywhere, but in the lifestyle especially, we have to be willing to have a conversation and be understanding of the other person's perspective, right? And include the factual history that contributes to the perspective. Those are all realities. Yes. And we'll figure it out. But I like that we opened up the conversation. I've had open conversations, and I think we're going to continue to keep these kinds of conversations open. Stay tuned every Tuesday, 9:00. What else you got?
I think Malcolm X was right. Of all our effort history is best qualified to reward all. Let me see.
All
I think Malcolm
research.
X was right. Of all our efforts, history is best qualified to reward all research.
Agreed.
Very much agreed on that. And listen, before y'all go, I want y'all to support some black business. So I'm gonna
Hey,
put this on here. It's Black History Month. I'm
Black
gonna be
History
promoting
Month.
this over and over again. And I've been to some of y'all motherfucking events. So I want to see y'all pull up to my shit and say what up to me. You know, you ain't
That's
gotta buy me
right.
a drink. I can get drinks for free, but you know, come through, have a good time, all that stuff, and you know, get some bang for your buck. Of course, I'm scrolling this damn thing and the shit ain't there. But yeah, that's pretty much the situation. I got
Okay.
this event here. Boom, that's my grown and sexy event for if you're gonna be
Yes.
there, March 29th. This is going down. You understand what I'm saying? This is going down then, and I would like to see a lot of my beautiful people there. Beautiful people doesn't mean any particular race. It means people as in human beings. Pull up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be sharing the information, so stay tuned to my page. Y'all could take the information from here and actually just go to the Eventbrite, cop a ticket. Tickets ain't even expensive. It's a semi-formal, so you know you gotta come dressed like you care, come dressed like you look good, and all this other stuff. You know, and this is going to be a really good time, and we appreciate each and every person that is going to show up. It's not
Yes.
the time to come see me, hoping that we gonna hang out, have a date night or
Yeah, because
whatever.
Max be working, boy. Max be
No,
on a run.
no, I'm not gonna. But it's not even so much that. But like I said, that's the time to just come out, show a little love. I
Yes.
appreciate y'all for pulling up. I've definitely seen some of y'all pull up in the past, and I appreciate it. So we're gonna keep that, and that's just what it's gonna be, and that's what it is. Now I'm gonna just plug one more thing. I want to plug my brother KD's event over here.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
not his event.
BLX tomorrow.
BLX tomorrow. The Black Lifestyle Experience. Go on there. He has a special guest on there and all of that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So go up on there, check out his show, and you know I'm gonna try to catch it. A lot of times I'm working, I can't even catch it live. I'll be having to like
Yeah,
fly to
I try and
something.
catch it too when I get out of work.
But you know, the thing is, and I mean, keep that up there for another second. You know, my thing is this: we gotta learn to lead with love instead of leading
Ooh.
with hate. A
You
lot
be
of times
stealing my phrases.
we lead off the wrong foot. And listen, if I told y'all my history, I'm never gonna tell y'all my history. But if I told y'all my history, you would never think that I'd be the person that I am today. But I'm telling you, if a person like me can lead off like this, there's a lot of room for y'all to be able to do the same. Look
Agreed.
at each other as individuals. Understand that your struggle might not be the same as theirs, but likely there's a lot of more you'll have in common than things you will have not in common with each other. So function in that way and see how that works. And you will have a better society and a better lifestyle overall. That's my closing statement on that. Nova?
Cheers to multicultural orgasms.
I guess we can just leave that there. Don't think anything else on this. Anyway, we'll holler at y'all next
Yes.
week.
Mhm.
When are we doing the? You know what?
So next week is our special Valentine's Day, right?
Can we do,
Conversation.
can we do the girls forum then? Because what I want to talk
Ooh.
about, there's something I want to address, but I want the women to be in the room to really be able to tackle. Remember the topic
Okay.
I had told you about? You wrote it
Yes.
down, right?
Yeah, it's in my notes.
Yeah. So that topic I feel like we need the women to actually respond
All right.
when I'm
So
saying this stuff.
I'll get the ladies together. Ladies, if you're interested in being on our panel next week, shout out to me in my inbox. And men, if you have any questions that you want to ask the ladies, send them to my inbox, respectfully, of course.
Yes.
Don't be sending nothing else to my inbox.
We're gonna be, depending on who it is. But anyway, thank y'all for coming out tonight and watching the show. We appreciate all the likes. Keep liking it. It still wasn't enough likes for the amount of people that's watching. Liking is free. Like it and share it. Thank you to the new subscribers that just subscribed. We appreciate that. A couple of new subscribers popped on there. We need everybody.
Yes.
These conversations are important. We don't just talk about buffoonery, though we talk about that too. It's important to understand that in order for the maturity of these conversations to continue, we need y'all to help us build this by, again, this is like casting your vote. Oh, and also there's a new function too. There's a hype thing. When you go on YouTube, even if you're going to watch on Facebook, slide over to the YouTube, hit the hype button too, because that pushes us in the algorithm so more people can actually see the videos. So, with all that being said, Nova, it's a pleasure as always.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, y'all have a good night and stay safe. And love each other, God damn it.
Love each other.
Bye.